So whatever you want to accomplish in your life, it lays out, it tells you how to do it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And right now we're working on step 9, which is, well, no, I'm on the wrong page. Persistence, which is keeping going whenever you're afraid or you're discouraged or you don't have enough energy or you find that you need more money or you have to learn something new that you don't know enough about yet. All those things happen when you are creating something, whether you're inventing, whether you're making a map, whether you're exploring a new element, whether you're teaching a class, whether you're parenting a child. All of those are long time projects that we all need to succeed in. Yes, I agree, Beza. And so this book lays it out. And what it says, I mean, it's been proven. The book has been on the bestseller list for 85 years. So it must have something going for it. There must be some reason why people still want to buy and read this book. We have posted on our website, livingpeacenow.org, a PDF copy that you can access and read at no cost. So we invite you to really, get into the book, and we will publish this class, which has been going on now for, I think this is the second month, and we will continue it through June. I think I will have gotten to the end of it by then. So each week we do one topic and, really get into that and explore how to use that piece of wisdom about creating the life and the opportunities that we want. And we're talking today about persisting, about how important it is to when you know you want to succeed in something, you just have to keep at it and know that it is possible. So the whole thing about success is you have to know you want something and you have to know what you want. You have to have an idea before you actually know whether you're succeeding or not. Until you decide you really want to do something, you won't know if you're succeeding. So tell me, what do you right now want to succeed in? What are you working toward in your life? Are you a student wanting a particular certificate or degree? And what do you want to be able to do with that? Or, anything else that you're working on? Your son? Beza.
I am currently a student and I am looking for my grades to improve, and I want to go to another country to get an experience of language and lessons of my degree.
Okay, so that's somewhat specific. You want to have experience in another country. Good. Have you thought about, what other country?
Any country in Europe that I can speak the language of, or United States could be also.
Okay. So it strikes me that one thing you could be doing at this point is learning about the different countries in Europe and the United States so that you begin to feel what is attracting you, what would excite you, what you're really interested in, where you feel good about traveling and learning. Because
Yes.
you're still kind of vague in that regard. What do you
Is
agree?
vague mean unsure, or I don't know the vague meaning.
Okay, vague. Is that the word?
Yes, I don't, sorry, my English, I don't know.
Okay, so you're not clear yet. You haven't figured out where you really want to go.
Yes, thank you.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So as you're working on making progress toward that goal, do some research, visit places online,
Of course.
and begin to get a feeling for, what really excites you, where really excites you.
Yes,
Because
you're right.
the clearer your vision becomes, the more success you will have getting where you want to get.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for sharing. No way.
You're
How about
welcome.
you? How about you?
Well, I am studying German, Portuguese, and I'm trying to practice my English because I want to travel and I want to know other language.
Okay.
And I am trying to, well, I sell bags, Wayu bags from Colombia here in Mexico, and things from Colombia, and I want to have a big store.
Oh, cool.
That
Okay. So
I think that's.
so you want to have a big store there where you live?
I already sell Wayu bags from Colombia here in Mexico
Okay.
online and in a store here.
Okay.
But I want to be more bigger,
Yeah,
more success.
of course. So tell me, describe what that success will look like and feel like.
um, for example, I sell my bags by internet, but I want to travel and continue selling bags
Right.
while I am traveling.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So
For me,
yeah.
that's success.
Okay. Cool. So, you can also, like Beza, be, looking at where do you want to travel?
I want to travel first here in South America, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil. So that's why I am learning Portuguese
Uh-huh.
and English, of course, because it's essential.
Right.
And then I am studying German and maybe in the future Russisch.
What's the last one?
Russisch, Russo,
Russian.
Russian.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. You don't have to be sorry. This is what you are selling, Noe, is the idea. What people are buying is the idea. When somebody sees one of your bags, They either like the idea that it came from Colombia or wherever it came from, and they feel like they've made contact with another part of the world, or they like the design and it makes them feel lighthearted or happy, or they have been looking for a bag to carry around a lot of stuff, and your bag is big. But everyone who buys a bag from you is buying their idea. The bag is making their idea possible. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
they're buying ideas. And when you sell a bag successfully, you have matched a bag to their idea. So it's all
This
about,
means
yeah,
we can not only see the bag, we also feel it.
yes, exactly. Wouldn't you agree? Do you have more than one bag, Beza?
I see the world like many bags.
Yeah, I have a bunch of bags too. I happen to like bags. So for me, if I see a bag and it makes me feel good because it answers one of the things that I like experiencing, I'm likely to buy the bag. But it's not just because it's a bag. It's because I always carry a lot of stuff. And I like it when I have a bag that says something about me that I wanted to say. It's what the bag says about me that I'm buying. And when anybody buys or acquires anything, that's basically what they're doing. They are acquiring an expression of themselves, of their imagination, of what they're picturing themselves for themselves. Noe, can you think of anything that you buy that does that for you? I expect you might like bags too. Is that true?
Uh, Sorry, can you repeat the question in another form?
Yes. I'm asking you about why do you sell bags?
Okay, because my wife is from Colombia, and this box is the unique part of the world that make this kind of bags and sell in all the world.
Yeah.
And but these bags are really unique, and these are very famous, and I like it.
I was going to say, I think you appreciate unique bags
Yes,
as an art form, right?
yes,
Yeah. And the people who buy bags, they also appreciate carrying that unique expression. And they like, decorating their life with
yes,
unique expressions. Whether it's what they wear around their neck or what they wear on their wrist or in their ears or on their arm if they have tattoos. It's all part of expressing our self and what is important to us about ourselves.
yes.
And incidentally, bags are a way to carry stuff. But if all you were looking for was a way to carry stuff, you wouldn't need to pay money for a fancy bag. So it's more than carrying stuff.
It's a form of expression with the bag
That's
to
correct.
express themselves,
Yeah.
to say, I am this kind of person
Mhm.
when we use this kind of bag.
That's right. Yes. And when we understand that about ourselves and about whatever it is that we're sharing as our livelihood, that what we're doing is offering people a way to make their lives more beautiful, more successful, happier, whatever. But it's about them and about their life and about us and our life. It's, once we get beyond the basic physical and emotional needs of humanity, that we need to feel safe, we need to be sheltered, we need to have food and water, we need to feel like we belong somewhere. Once we get past that basic level of comfort, then we look to express ourselves, to share what we are and who we are, and to be reminded of that by our environment. And we want to develop skills, another big motivation for people being someplace, buying something, going somewhere. Now, these ideas are what our lives are all about. And it's important to realize that. Do you agree? Do you have any comments or questions?
No, I am agree.
Okay.
I think it's not the thing or the small thing that you buy, is that you can express, that you can transmit. I don't know how to say it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, whenever you're thinking about what can I do to make a living, what can I do to be helpful to others, it's always about an idea of some kind. And to realize that we all have access to ideas. And that is really how we succeed, is
And
to follow an idea. Yes, Beza.
to get some idea, we need some information about
Yes,
something.
that's right. You need examples, you need experiences, you need a word that comes to me is exposure, which is experience. And travel, of course, is one good way. Reading is another good way. What else? How do we get ideas? How do we acquire new thoughts, new awareness? What do we do to expand our possibilities? I've gone to school a number of times during my life. I went to high school and graduated, and I went to college and graduated, and then I went to graduate school and graduated, and then I got a doctorate and finished, and then I got training. So whenever, I have decided that, okay, I'm done with what I'm doing, I want to do something new. Yeah, I've started over again, gathering information. And we do that in our lives so that we know enough to know how to succeed with what we're doing, what we want to do. So
someone in the comments, not in the comment, but in the conversation section, wrote art.
wrote, I say
Wrote,
I can't see my.
Yeah, I wrote.
yes.
I guess I got to get out of full
To
screen.
express myself, we can make art.
Okay. To express
Exactly, music, painting, all this helps us as people to express ourselves or express what our feelings and what we feel.
Yes.
I think.
Yes, exactly. Right. So any idea, once we get an idea, once we begin to think, you know, I'd really like to make that happen, whatever it is, whether it's we're making clothing, whether we're creating a room or a living space, writing a book. I mean, there's raising a child is an amazing experience of communicating ideas and having a vision and making it come to pass. And no matter what we're doing, if we stay with it and if we are flexible, if we're willing to, when we make a mistake, to not be worried about, well, what are people going to say? People are going to forget. So just go ahead and do what you need to do to, once you realize that you've made a mistake, you can say, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore because it's not bringing me what I want. And you just stop. And it doesn't matter if others are going to say something. What matters is, are you able to create the life that you want? Let's see, I need to get out of full screen. Okay. So one aspect of bringing our ideas to fruition, making our vision happen, is we need to plan for it. Some of us are better at that than others. And of course, there's always a balance. In this world, in this physical world, everything can be too much or too little. Everything. And we have to find the middle place where it's just right, where it works. So if we're really good at planning, we have to be ready to step back and say, oh, but this is happening instead of what I planned. Okay, I'm okay with that. I can live with it and jump in. And if we're not very good at planning, we need to be able to say, okay, I got to plan a little bit more so that you recognize when what you really want is right there in front of you and you can grab it. So decisiveness is important. And some of us, if we are decisive, we make mistakes and we have to say, whoops, that's not right. I got to go back to what we call square one. In other words, go back to the beginning and start again. Or if we're very slow in deciding, we need to speed up. We need to be able to make a decision and then be okay with going back and starting over. But in order to keep a vision or a project moving forward, we need to become at least reasonably decisive. Do you guys know for yourself which type you are? Do you make decisions pretty fast and then have to go back and start again? Or do you make decisions too slow and never get things started? Where are you on the continuum?
I think that it depends on the subjects or the
Okay.
thing that you're going to decide about. If it's
Okay.
something like huge, you're definitely going to take a long, like, take your time, think, and then you're going to say yes, and then no, not yet. But
Yeah.
if it's something like easy or that is not that huge and that important, even if everything is important, you probably take your decision faster than the first one, of course.
Right, because there's less risk.
Yes.
But even when it's risky,
Yeah.
eventually you need to take a step forward. And you can break down a great big vision into little pieces. And that's a lot easier for being decisive. You can decide, well, okay, a first step toward traveling and selling what my bags are is either it could be making a trip within Mexico and going to a different city and seeing how that works,
Yeah.
rather than going to Russia right away.
Yeah.
You can build up to big decisions, but it's important to start and deciding on
Take the step.
a little decision that moves you one step forward toward being confident about and knowing what you really want to do is important, because the more time we spend saying, yeah, I want to, and not doing something, that doesn't get us anywhere. I mean, a first
You
step.
never take that decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody that
For me,
tends to make really
it
fast?
depends.
Yes, it does. Is there anybody that tends to make fast decisions and then realizes that maybe I better go back and look at that again?
Hey, I try to make the first step,
Okay.
take an action, and then to think all the possibilities. But first, I make the first step, the first action.
Yes.
For example, to learn a language,
Mhm.
or to start to sell this kind of bags.
Right.
I make the first step, and then I don't know.
You see how it goes.
Yeah.
Right. And then you may find you're doing the first step for a long time. And the first step has steps, right?
Yes, I make little steps forward my
Mhm.
goal.
Right. And the important thing is to keep moving toward the goal, to keep changing something. So the goal is in the process of happening. It's not something that you're gonna start someday, because There's an awful lot of things that people think of that they never do step one on. And they, you know, those may be really good ideas. Beza is saying that if you really wonder about something in the chat, if you really wonder about an idea, you will see it in a positive way. You'll see opportunities. And that is true. I agree. If you are curious and you get interested in something, you will get an opportunity to try it out more. And if you are thinking about that idea anyway, you're more likely to decide to do that opportunity than if you hadn't been thinking about the idea in the first place. That happens to me a lot. I'm curious about something, and then something makes me more curious yet again, and I'll take another step. And eventually I get really interested in it. And then I really spend some time learning about it. This experience with Living Peace Now has introduced me to many people who are Muslims across the world. And where I live, there are some Muslims, but we're not in contact with each other very easily. And so I've become, as a result of, talking to these people and learning from them, and the only one on here now that is in that group is Abu, and I appreciate you, Abu. But you guys have made me more interested in learning about Islam, because in addition to the prejudices that I am aware of, I now know some Muslims, and I admire you and think of you as good people. And
Thank you.
Yes, Biza too, yes. And so I want to learn more. And I'm becoming more aware, and I'm really enjoying and appreciating that, which is the whole basic idea, really, for Living Peace Now, that as we become friends across social barriers, social frontiers, that we become more aware, we become more interested, and our awareness and our appreciation of more different kinds of people grows. So this has been working for me, and it's been fascinating and enjoyable. And I've really enjoyed the people that I've begun to know and feel are friends. And I know,
That's great.
what?
That's great.
Yeah, I agree. It is. And I think it adds a lot to life. It adds joy to life to know that friendship is possible in so many ways, in so many places. It's, it just makes life better.
Yes, I think especially it means a lot for us as Muslims, especially these days where Muslim people are kind of known or treated with a certain way that is not correct, I say. But for me too, I used to, especially here in Algeria, there's not a lot of non-Muslim people. But thanks to LP Now, I start to know and to learn something about non-Muslim people and other religion.
Yeah.
Anyway. So that means a lot to us, and I'm sure that Muslim people in your region that are small, like people, will really appreciate it, especially when they are in a country that is not Muslim, to feel that someone else is looking at them in a good way. That's
Yes.
something very good for them. So
Yes.
thank you.
I agree. So
Yeah.
that's the vision that we're working toward, is creating ways to make that happen as much as possible. And
Thank you.
we appreciate everybody who is participating in it. So I hope that this discussion has been helpful in some way.